Dr. Johnson was the founder and chief executive of a private student loan company, Reunion Student Loan Financing Corporation, before assuming his official role with the department. Is that correct?
That probably is correct.
Yes, it is.
Let me just interject.
I would like to continue.
And I would like to make clear that
we'll give you some time. I will get to it. Thank you so much.
The individual you have referred to is not part of the acquisition or procurement team.
Okay.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. What you're about to see is pure political theater. At its finest, Ilhan Omar walks in like she's about to expose a massive scandal, throwing around big words like conflict of interest and billions of taxpayer dollars, trying to corner Betsy DeVos. But here's the twist. DeVos doesn't flinch. She stays calm, collected, and completely flips the script. What started as an ambush turns into a total backfire for Omar. Every claim she makes just falls. Apart under basic facts, it's almost hard to watch, but at the same time incredibly satisfying. So sit back, because we're breaking down how DeVos dismantled this entire setup piece by piece. Make sure to like the video, subscribe for more breakdowns like this, and let's dive right in.
Thank you, Chairman. Madam Secretary, countless news sources have reported on the conflict of interest that run rampant through your top aides, especially those advising you on higher ed and loan servicing. When responding to questions about these conflicts, you have failed to adequately convince Congress and the American people that these conflicts do not interfere with the billions of taxpayer dollars flowing from education to corporate interest. Today, I would like to better understand your decisions for selecting aides and ensuring that their conflicts do not harm taxpayers. Last May, 4 of my colleagues on this committee sent your general counsel a request for information about conflict of interest surrounding your $2 billion next-gen loan servicing solicitation. Given that this solicitation is given, I would like some information about the team that's leading it. Does Dr. A. Wade Johnson, is he the one that's spearheading this solicitation?
Dr. Johnson is head of the Next Gen Initiative.
All right. According to New York Times investigation, Dr. Johnson was the founder and chief executive of a private student loan company, Reunion Student Loan Financing Corporation, before assuming his official role with the department. Is that correct?
That probably is correct.
Yes, it is.
Let me just interject.
I would like to continue.
And I would like to make clear that
we'll give you some time. I will get to it. Thank you so much. Dr. Johnson was also the executive at the two financial services companies, First Data Corporation and TSYS. Additionally, Dr. Johnson was hired at least one other TSYS veteran, Mr. Patrick Fox. Have any of Dr. Johnson's previous employers bid on elements of next-gen solicitation?
Congresswoman, all of my staff, all of my team at the Department of Education and Federal Student Aid has gone through their ethics process, has taken and takes their ethics obligations very seriously. We don't have conflicts, and we will not be conflicted. We have continued to have a robust screening process, and can stand and be very resolute about that.
So given that there is about $2 billion per year in taxpayer dollars flowing through this program, will you commit to releasing communication between the procurement team and any of Dr. Johnson's former employees?
So all of the procurement is walled off from the rest.
That would just be yes or no. Would you be committed to releasing any communication between Dr. Johnson and his employees?
Not to releasing internal communication, but the procurement team is walled off from the rest of the team, and the procurement process is very definitely prescribed as to how it has to happen.
That has not clearly answered my question. The federal acquisition regulations have a section on conflict of interest. It states, the general rule is to avoid strictly any conflict of interest or even the appearance of conflict of interest in government contract relations. While many federal laws and regulations place restrictions on actions of government personnel, their official conduct must, in addition, be such that they would not have no reluctance to make a full public disclosure of their actions. You seem to have reluctance to make a full public disclosure of the actions of the head of the department's largest single procurement team, despite there being obvious appearance of conflict of interest. How is your denial to release communication in line with extremely high conflict of interest standards that's required by federal law?
The individual you have referred to is not part of the acquisition or procurement team.
Okay. But we need the communication that is happening between the procurement team and the employers of Dr. Johnson.
That process is walled off from any other process.
All right. So you've seen it all play out, and wow. There's a lot to unpack here. Ilhan Omar came in guns blazing. But her goal wasn't to find the truth. It was to create a viral moment. She started with sweeping accusations, quoting mysterious sources without naming a single one, classic setup to put her opponent on the defensive from the start. Then she zeroed in on Dr. A. Wayne Johnson, reading his resume like it was a criminal record, accusing him of being too experienced in the very field he was hired to fix. Think about that for a second. That's not corruption, that's qualification. And this is where Betsy DeVos really showed how it's done. She stayed calm, she stayed professional, and she refused to play into the drama. Instead of arguing emotions, she pointed straight to facts. Every member of her team, she explained, goes through a strict ethics review process that ensures full transparency. But the real knockout came when Omar tried to pivot, talking about appearances of conflict, demanding internal emails and all that. And DeVos just dropped the hammer, saying the person you're referring to isn't even part of the acquisition or procurement team. Boom. Right there, the entire premise of Omar's attack collapsed in a single line. She was left speechless, trying to spin a narrative that just didn't hold up. This wasn't a scandal, it was a failed setup, and DeVos handled it like a pro, using composure and clarity to turn a political ambush into a masterclass in staying cool under fire. What do you think? Was this fair questioning or a cheap shot? Let me know down below.